Welcome back, everyone. In the coming days, the White House is expected to announce a positive and practical plan to fix our broken immigration system. The plan, authored by Jared Kushner and supported by many Republicans in Congress, could be a game changer. No more visa lottery, chain migration, free-for-all and asylum abuse. Instead, a massive shift towards skills and merit-based immigration, eliminating loopholes and with more resources for border security and internal enforcement. It could also include E-Verify, according to some reports. Now, you're going to hear some on the right try to distort this as a sellout, claiming that anything short of a massive restriction in overall immigration is basically the same thing as open borders. That is ridiculous and irresponsible. The only way we're ever going to actually secure the border and fix the broken system is to pass immigration reform in Congress. The plan we're hearing about is a smart, sensible compromise that brings order to the chaos and focuses immigration on people who will boost our economy. Quality, not quantity. Every Trump supporter should be for it. What do we think?
Well, I'd like to see what the end result ends up being. With Jared Kushner involved, he had tremendous success with prison reform and with First Step. So he was able to help create something and help move something through that no one else was interested in or wanted to do that the American people knew was important. So he has the experience already. I do think that also the American people are fine with immigration reform, as it's been called, but it's never been coupled with border security.
That's right.
Seriously coupled. So we've never been able to actually see it and be able to support it in that regard. So Americans would reject it if it did not come with the wall and with Donald Trump and his commitment to border security. But all of these things, Americans, we are the most generous country in the world. We do want immigrants, but we want them in the sense for the right reason, not just volume, like chain migration, but for what they can bring to the country. Yeah. It's also good for the immigrant because of what they know. They're coming in and they're going to be wanted. They've got a job to do. They're going to become part of the fabric immediately. All of this is great for us, but it must be accompanied with serious border security. That has never happened before.
I think they know that, and I think that's why I think the internal enforcement, the visa overstays, that's a big part of it. I think it seems to me, Henry, that so many efforts have died because any kind of plan, the minute it's put out there, that you get some who scream betrayal. This is just, it's amnesty or whatever.
Right. No, look, the American people want to be tough but fair. The American people want to give people a right who have been here a long time and been law-abiding citizens. They want to give them a right to stay, and they don't ever want to have an illegal come across the border again. The internal enforcement, to me, is the key, because I'm all for a wall, but people can get around walls. We know this with our 50-year war on drugs. What we need to do is we need to have mandatory E-Verify. We need to have cut-off remittances from people back home, which are supporting these economies unless they can prove that they're here legally. And we need to make sure that there's also perhaps tax subsidies for people who are actually Americans, who are here in this country for not just a year, but for a long time, so that business stops having an incentive to hire people off the books and behind closed doors.
And visa overstays. That's still, even with the September 11th Commission report saying that was a major issue. Visa overstays. We've never addressed it. Well,
Lisa, I just wanted to get you to... Sorry, I know you... I'm particularly interested in your take on where this goes politically. Why bring it out now? Is that a good thing to do? Does it help with the re-election? Or what's the politics of all this?
So I don't want to be the Debbie Downer of the panel, but I do look at things from a congressional standpoint, having worked in Congress, and then also from a political perspective, having worked on political campaigns. And just trying to move anything comprehensive forward is going to be so tough because you not only have a divide in both parties are split on how to address the immigration issue, but we also have divided government with Democrats controlling the House and Republicans controlling the Senate and the White House. So I think it's going to be really, really tough. What we desperately need to do is make changes to the asylum system because the process is being gamed. There was a report of a Guatemalan man who basically borrowed a boy for $130 who was recently indicted by a grand jury for human trafficking. And he told Homeland Security investigators that the reason he did, because he heard it was easier to get over here if you're part of a family unit. And that's the big problem that we're seeing right now. And you look at something, too, even the Washington Post noted that after President Trump's zero tolerance policy ended, there was an 80% increase in family units crossing the border or trying to get over here illegally, right?
But do you think it's worthwhile them, at least in good faith, saying, look, we're trying. Here's our plan. It's actually a really detailed plan, even if the Democrats have just been completely obstructive. Isn't that a plus to put that forward?
Yeah, I don't think it hurts to bring it forward, but I hope that we also keep our eye on some easy fixes that we can do in Congress, like change the Flores decree, which limits the amount of time that family units can be detained together. There's a 2008...
You mean not in Congress?
No, this needs to get done. We need things to get done in Congress and changing some of these policies. Also, there's a 2008 anti-human trafficking law that treats unaccompanied minors coming here from Central America differently than Mexico. There are things also, just the asylum process, the interview process. You have so many people that pass out an initial interview, and then I think it's 10 to 20% only actually get granted an immigration court if they even show up, and they're not.
I know, it's a total outrage, and that is in this plan.
Right.
Fixing those, and we've got to leave it there. But I don't know. I think it's good that this. Well, we'll see when it comes out. We can debate it again.
I don't want to take away the positive part of
the positive and practical. Exactly. Oh, there you
I'll
go.
try to be more
but
positive.
Something else you may think.